now, but when I was growing up, it was like, ooh, it's taboo. And I feel that being able to be yourself and be able to show everybody you can be yourself has been the greatest thing possible. Being able to, because I do security outside of this. I work at clubs, nightclubs and stuff. And when people see me, like, oh, not only you strong, but you power. You control the vibe, and you make us safe. So whatever you think may stop you, don't. Just go ahead and try it. And I think by getting out there has helped me a lot. Has helped me stand in my power.
Not taking no for an answer, right? And being able to stand on your feet is really big. It's hard to take risk, but I think a lot of us in this room understand what it means to take a risk. And when folks are telling us that we don't belong, when folks tell us that this isn't spaces for us, we make our own spaces, right? What we're doing here today. And so us all being here and sitting here together and listening to these wonderful women, we're telling others that, and we're telling the system that we matter, our voices matter.
Excuse me, my brain is a bit lagged, but that's like a great question, and I feel like the best thing I can say to that is when someone tells you that you can't do this because of one minor detail, and if it doesn't affect you in a way where it's like, okay, my identity shouldn't stop me from having this job or stop me from being in this place, and someone tells you that that's a problem, honestly, what works for me is just thinking about people being haters, honestly. Like, when you really think about it, we live in a world where everyone isn't going to accept you, everyone isn't going to agree with you, everyone isn't going to be there to help you get up. But when they push you back, you don't push back against them, you just get up and you walk it off. No one here, when you wake up today, long story short, when you wake up today, nobody that did you wrong yesterday or the day before owes you anything unless they owe you money. So, if someone told you that you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, and the next day you woke up breathing, that's another day for you to do what they told you you couldn't do, pretty much.
How has being affirmed, celebrated, and understood by your community impacted your confidence, self-worth, and a vision for your future?
I just think it's so hard to be this pretty because, life is just so unfair. I honestly, that's something that I was really blessed. I was really blessed with people around me, my blood family, my chosen family. And so some people fail to realize is that not everyone sees you how you see yourself. And so when you're living in a life and you're transitioning and then let's say, regardless of if you start at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, no matter how young you start, you've known yourself, you've seen yourself a million times. So when you're making those changes to yourself, you still see the old you. But someone who's never met you doesn't see what you see. They see what they see that's right then and there. And so being able to have people to constantly tell me the truth and not just, oh girl, you look good. No, you tell me what I need to fix, what here, and I don't mean features, I mean little things, It builds up. Being able to have someone positively tell you what you need to fix without it being a drag down or a key or a cackle. Having people genuinely be able to tell you, hey, you're pretty, you're gorgeous, I love you. Those things help feed the brain. And so when you have enough of that, instead of constantly thinking, oh, this person may think I'm cocky or this person may think that, you're already going through your head like, oh, well, I know I look good, this person said this, and they're all close people.
To piggyback off of Jalea, I think two things could be true at the same time, right? Like, you can be celebrated and supported and still take constructive criticism, right? But being celebrated, being affirmed just keeps you feeling motivated. It keeps you to go to the next step, and it makes you want to see yourself get even higher, right? And so I think having that community for yourself, right, and surrounding yourself with people who are going to feed into you and pour into you is the spaces where you want to thrive, right? And the spaces that you want to carry for yourself.
I think being in the community and when it's like for me, when somebody say yes ma'am or thank you or see who the person I present in front of you, it makes a difference for me because it can be easily misconstrued or be called the big boy in the corner or the cross dresser. So when you hear, especially in your own community, when they call you, hey sister, hey goddess, that makes you feel better. It makes you feel good, especially. And then for those who not in the community, like if you at the grocery store and somebody they might even be a slang, like, oh, that's the fat girl. I still was a girl. Oh, she's big. I still was a she. It affirms something inside of you. So I'm like, when you hear from outside of yourself, it lets you know that it's okay. And people see me. They don't see what I'm supposed to, they see me. And I like that.
How have shared experiences and wisdom of other Black and brown trans women helped guide the way you navigate systems, relationships, and everyday life? How have shared experiences and wisdom of other Black and brown trans women helped guide the way you navigate systems, relationships, and everyday life?
Having experiences with sisters and community and womanhood, especially of those who may have similar experiences but not the same experiences of, have really helped me gravitate towards being and staying in community, right? And the importance of having folks you can lean in on. I think being able to, think about like, how do I change and how do I show up in spaces and show up in this world? And then seeing how others see me, right? Like, motivates me to then want to give important to others, right? And be able to give back into sisterhood.
I think it helps tremendously, and not to rag, but I have the best role model here, and I would like to use you as an example real fast. When I first joined Housing Works, I wasn't 100% sure what was going on. It was a different program for my dad, but I met this wonderful lady, and she took her time with me, and she was able to show me that there's a lot more out here. Okay, a lot of people like to just restrict trans women to one type of work when there's a plethora of things that we can be doing. And so she's a wonderful example to me of starting somewhere as far as the whole the training program when you got me in, and then being able to build through that, and then be able to have something for yourself. And so being able to see that it's possible, no matter what you look like, where you're from, your gender, whatever you identify as, what someone else believes you should be doing isn't always that. So having the proper representation that anything is possible, no matter who you are, is most definitely like the best thing. I love you, girl.
Yes, I'm gonna pick it back on what you're saying about having representation, having the community help you, helped me a lot, because like I said, from where I'm from, it was either you go work or you go rob or you go be a girl, you go be a sex worker. And listening to the older girls helped me from not contracting, by being affected by HIV, by not infected, because I had an older girl that told me, hey girl, wrap it up, everybody got it. Go ahead and, you're gonna make your money, put this on. They're gonna say you might not look this good, put this on tonight. This might get you some more money. And by listening to them, they help me grow into the woman that I am. And then as you get older, you realize your visibility, you can help the next person, because what you think is a flaw, well, I like flaws. That means a unique identifying mark. That means you stand out. Don't look at it as a bad thing. And by the community being able to show me that, I would probably still be in the closet trying to betrayed at nighttime. And then, you know how that goes, like trying to fool everybody. So with our community, I was able to be myself. And y'all showed me that, bitch, I don't have to do just that. I don't have to be just sex workers. We can be doctors, we can be lawyers, we can be leader of panelists, we can put a whole thing together. We don't have to just be what society think they want us to be, which is their little toys, or, like I said, I don't like the word dolls. I know y'all love that word, I hate that word. I'm not a toy you put at and put on makeup and put up. I am not a doll. That's not my thing, I'm a woman.
In what ways do you intentionally pour strength, encouragement, or opportunities back into the community for the next generation of Black and brown trans women and femmes?
Well, my way is by starting with helping my mother and my best friend start the Ghost Project, which is guiding helping others survive transition. We do quarterly and yearly events that help uplift communities. We're not really into the whole resilience and remembrance. We're more of the what you can do tomorrow and uplift it. Let's live and thrive. So I think by teaching everybody, you don't have to live in the shadows. You don't have to go buy a certain great book. Get out there and do what you feel is right for you, and then you might get a sister that go help you so you can tighten up if you need to be tightened up, or you can teach your sister, hey bitch, catch up, because it's not a race. So let's stay together. Instead of saying catch up, let's sail together. How about that?
I'm currently in a leadership role, thinking strategically about how we are like staffing people, right? And also how I have the opportunity to move funding and funds into the Black and Brown community, right? And being able to be strategic in how I show my allyship, I think is really important. And then being able to then utilize like positions of power and leadership to then give into the next generation.
Bless you. Okay. I feel like the best way that I try to pour back is if I do happen to meet a girl that's younger than me, and let's say she's still in her phase of like being, let's say like angry at the world. We're talking like, you know, sometimes we all have the princess illusion. I like to keep it real, and I like to let everyone know that at the end of the day, okay, you might have somebody come save you. But until then, girl, you have to save yourself, okay? And not waiting for, like, there are certain dreams that you wait for, and there are certain dreams that you don't wait for. So when I come across a younger girl and I'm able to have a conversation and get a better understanding, and if it comes across as if she might just be trying to linger around and wait, no, girl, listen, you get your ass up, okay? You stand in that mirror, you get yourself together, and you do what you do for you. At the end of the day, before you get to a husband or a wife or a successful job or a lot of money in your bank, you have to have the mentality to make it through every day. And it's a challenge. And being young on top of that, with the hormones, on top of just navigating the world, it can be a lot. And so I just try to let everyone know that at the end of the day, not only are you here to save yourself, but if you have been through a lot and you woke up once again, you saved yourself. If every night that you go to sleep and you wake up and you're breathing, that's the day that you saved yourself and you got through. So I just need everyone to remember, if you feel like everything's on top of your shoulders and you can't do anything, remember that you woke up and you're sitting here today.
What does self-care truly mean to you as a Black and brown trans woman, and how do you practice it in a society that often expects our community to simply survive rather than thrive?
Give me a break.
For me, self-care is things that get, for me, it's a little different because some people think self-care is all about outside, but I'm more of a nerd, so self-care is like learning new things. When I'm not working, I try to find a new skill. Like I'm a proud graduate of the YouTube University. Anything that's on YouTube, I learn. I do my own nails. I learn how to do my own hair. I learn how to sew. It's something. So my thing for me, self-care is being, I guess, knowledge to learn more. That helps me better because you know better, you do better. So how can you take care of yourself when you don't know what you're doing? So that's my thing.
I think a lot of times when we think about self-care, it becomes like, you know, how do we pamper ourselves? How do we make ourselves feel good physically? But I think also like spiritually, like how are we growing, right? Or how are we resting? And one thing I also learned, the previous few years is, no is a sentence, right? And being able to say no to people, even when, you want to be able to go to this function, you want to be able to do this next activity, you want to do this next leadership role, right? But being able to say like, no, I need time to rest, I need time to recharge. Because I learned from a old supervisor that every day you're not out your 100, and every day your 100 looks different, right? So, I take that.
Okay, so self-care for me looks a lot different in some ways. For me, I personally feel like it starts with my outer appearance. I have to look in the mirror and I have to be at peace, because if I look in the mirror, girl, and it's not one of those days, then mentally it's a lot for me. And so it starts with a simple, like, as long, for me, self-care is a clean face, some clean clothes, somewhere to lay my head, some hot food, and my baby dog. That's it. That's where it starts. But as far as mentally, I feel like self-care is also about having someone to talk to. It's also about being able to take yourself out. We talk about solo dates, solo trips. Not too far, girl, because there's a lot of stuff happening. But solo trips around the city, maybe something as far as giving back to yourself. We work so hard, we save money, we're working to live, but we need to work to have fun as well. And so being able to just, if not every week, and maybe every 2 weeks, give me a nice little outfit, do my makeup, do my hair, take my ass out, okay? You go out, you enjoy the air, put your feet on the grass, and you remember at the end of the day, you got a lot more years to come, and it ain't gonna stop now. So just live.
Why is it important for Black and brown women of transgender experience to be visible in leadership, advocacy, creative spaces, and community building work?
Prime example, because it shows other people who are coming up that they can do it too.
Because stuff don't get done unless we're there. I'm one of those people who believe that in order for us to get our gay rights, it was 3 trans people that was fighting over the jail for it. So things change don't come unless we do it. So that's my whole thing. Get up and do. And that's what we do. We change the world.
Representation and visibility gives others permission to live beyond their condition, right? Like, go beyond where you are right now and understand that where you are right now isn't the ending.
If you could leave this audience with one message about resilience, healing, and rising through adversity, what would you want them to carry with them?
Be true to you. Like, don't be the yes person, don't be the mean, angry person that's scared to let people in either. Be true to you. If it feel right and you know it's not gonna hurt, take that chance. You ain't gonna know until you do it. Take that chance. And if you're not transitioning, put on a wig and try. I think everybody should try drag. It's a life-changing experience. And I think everybody should try it. But be you and be true to you. Don't be scared to feel what you feel. What you feeling is not wrong. You might not understand it, but it's not wrong. And it's okay to feel what you feel. Feel it.
I would tell the audience to tell your story. Each and every one of you stories has power, has words, has meaning, and don't be afraid to open up, right? You never know, the person next to you probably going through something similar. So don't be afraid to open up.
I guess I would just say, number one, to give yourself a pat on the back for being here today, waking up, putting on, because I'm looking at a bunch of beautiful people, okay? Y'all did y'all ones and y'all twos, so please give yourself the hardest pat on the back. Number two, like I said, don't be waiting for Captain Favor, because he ain't gonna come save you. Do what you gotta do, okay? Be the baddest bitches you... Okay, I'm sorry. No, like I said, be the baddest bitch you could be, okay? And make sure at the end of the day, you, like she said, live in your truth. Like, there's no reason at all for why you should be limiting yourself for somebody else's gain if you're not game. So please do what you need to do for you.
Well, that's all the questions. Thank you. But I wanted to ask audience members if they would like to comment on anything that was spoken about.
Hi, I'm Torrance. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. And Jahira, thank you for being my mother and the light of my life, calling me right after I got my surgery done and I fell. You were like there and you introduced me to this world and I didn't know it existed. And it completely changed where I was at the beginning of my transition. And to be where I am today with, my sister up there doing her big one, like my new sisters I haven't even got to meet yet, but now I'm excited to. I just think this is so important, and I think that there's a world in which I grew up in the old New York where I don't know if this was a thing as much as it is now, and I think we all are holding a seat to make this happen. So thank you to everyone for being here.
Anyone else?
I know y'all got some questions. Why did y'all act like come on now, everybody quiet. Come on. Huh? Look, baby, look harder. I ain't looking hard enough.
Hi everyone, I'm Lachey. So I just have a question to all you ladies. Whoever wants to answer first, feel free. If you could tell your younger self one thing about coming up in this world now, what would it be?
I feel like, honestly speaking, I feel like okay, first I would give my younger self a hug. I would give myself the biggest hug. And I would tell my younger self that we make it. I most definitely, as a kid, did not see myself living too far on. So I would hug myself and I would tell baby, we did it. And every day we get up and we keep doing it. And to a lot of people, we are the strongest person they know. But even though we know what we are, at the end of the day, I just need to let my younger self know, baby, you got this.
I would tell my younger self, keep going, don't give up. Because I'm one of those people that had to go through a lot of different challenges growing up, and especially being from a Christian family and from Florida, all that. Don't worry about it. The ones that come around that will love you the most, and the ones that don't love you ain't gonna be there that long. So don't worry about it. Keep going.
I would tell my younger self it does get better, and don't forget to smile through it.
Anybody else?
Okay, come on, someone ready.
Hi, good afternoon, beautiful people. So I would like to thank everyone for their inspiration. I'm the baby. I believe I'm a baby right now. I draw strength from all of you. I have one question. How do you deal with a person or one of us suffering from low self-esteem, and then somebody actually crush their ego or their confidence? How do you advise them to uplift? And how can we actually defend ourselves to be existing to this world when we know that there's actually a struggle within the LGBT community? How can we explain to our LGBT members that we are equal to them? I know this is a fight, and my flame is burning to actually fight for that rights. Thank you.
Okay. Number one, you look gorgeous, baby. I love that.
Thank you.
That no shade. That is a piece, okay? Number two, I just feel like when you are met face to face with ignorance, the only thing you can do is spit facts. And one of those facts being, regardless of how we present, what we've gone through, where we live, or what, we're still human. We all have a heart. We all have certain things that make us, function, okay? And so when you come across someone who tries to make you feel like you're less than because you decided to do something differently, you let them know at the end of the day, it doesn't affect them. And you remember that you are the baddest bitch, okay? That is where the confidence comes from. You can't wait for someone to give it to you. You have to give it to yourself. And it starts with looking yourself in the face and you say, I'm that bitch.
Your question about community, I think, earlier I had shared, tell your story, right? I think us telling our stories helps build empathy and compassion for the trans community, right? And then within the LGBTQ plus community, being able to tell one another what we're going through and what we've gone through helps build that community.
I'm gonna have to piggyback off one of my sister's topics said last year. In our community, you have to find your tribe. Like we are a big community, but within the community, you have to find your special tribe, the ones that support you, who's want to pour into you. Because some people can't take your existence, as my mom would say, give them some shades because your light too bright for them. And people who go out their way to try to knock you down, just remember in the back of your head, oh, I did my job today. You couldn't take me. You had to say something. So don't let them knock you down. Just let you know that your light shines so bright that they had to stop what they were doing to try to tear you down. So don't worry about it. You're doing what you're supposed to do. And keep a dollar shades and say, here you go, baby. I can't turn this off, but you can put these on.
I know that's right.
Anybody else?
I have one question. Earlier, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but you mentioned that it was 3 women of trans experience that basically, like trans women, they elicit change. And I know that when women are in my proximity, I always try to, I'm like sexist in like the old school, like traditional way of like, you know, I'm opening a door, like, you know, I'm opening a door, the chivalry's not dead, don't come out your purse, if you're in my presence, like kind of like that. What is a way that we can hold butch queens and men accountable, but not allow them to skate on by? Like what does that practice look like in your life? What boundaries do you set? What do you tolerate? What do you not tolerate? What is something that's positive that we can all do and learn as the men in the room?
For me, because I have a brother who is butch queen down and very he likes to play a lot with the girls and he's very overprotective, and that's a good thing. You're overprotective, but the ones who are like secretly hating and stuff, I don't worry about bunnies. And a bunny's a cute boy that like to bounce on it. So if you doing what I do in closed doors, I'm not worried about you because you competing against me and I'm just living. I don't be worried about no man. My job is to tell you how to treat me because you don't like females. So you're not going like a trans woman. Don't treat me like your boyfriend. Treat me like your mama. If not, go about your business.
About your business. I love it.
I think it takes men to also speak up and talk to other men about these things, right? And so I think being able to have these open and honest conversations as men in the room and talking about like what it means to show up for your sisters and show up for women, and being honest, right? About like, you know, chivalry shouldn't be dead, right? So like being honest and having those honest conversations too.
Listen, I'ma keep it real. I'ma keep it real, okay? Listen. Now, I ain't no bougie girl, okay? I'm not the type of person who everything has to be designer, no. I just know this. As a man, I feel like if a man really loves someone or wants to be with someone, even as a friend, no matter what, I feel like sometimes you have to say, you know, we need a little more romantic stuff. You know, as far as, like you said, the chivalry. Sometimes the girls have to speak up. But at the same time, for me personally, I know I would do anything for my man. But if you're not gonna do anything for me, you have to cut, period. I'll let that be known. If it just so happens, like let's say I get into a relationship and he's working and then he loses his job, I'm gonna hold you down, for sure. But if you keep laying around and not doing nothing, you got to go. So it's like making sure you let it be known that I'm not a gold digger, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be sitting here empty-handed or raising a grown man. That's just not it.
Anybody else?
So, I think the biggest transition I went through was learning to love myself. Because the most important conversation I realized was the conversation I had with myself. So I have mottos. It used to be, I can do this. Now it is, I know what I'm doing. Ladies, what is the motto that you have that you tell yourself when you hit difficulty? What is that thing that you tell yourself in your head that keeps you going?
I would just say one, and it's my mama ain't raised no punk. She raised me. And when it comes down to facing those hard challenges, I know that the only person that other than myself that I wouldn't want to let down or fail, is my mama. And she's been everything I need to give me that strength and forward. As long as I know my mama ain't raised no punk, then I know I can do what I need to do and get through.
For me, mine is I ain't, which is a euphemism, is I'm not going to do. So my thing is, I ain't your man, I ain't your caretaker, I ain't this, I'm me. I'm not gonna be whatever you think, whatever derogatory word that you think you could call me. I'm not your brick, I'm not your homeboy, I'm not that, I ain't none of that. I'm just me, and I always tell myself every day when I get up, I ain't a sex worker anymore. I ain't. I do that, that's how I changed. So, because I was, and I had to get out there, and there's nothing wrong with it, because it's very possible if you know what you're doing. It really is. It really is. But I had to change that once you become of age, and you meet a certain age. For me, I wanted to be more than that. I always wanted to be a teacher. I always wanted to do that. So I ain't what you thought I was, but I am me.
So I grew up in the church. I was an altar kid for quite a number of years, and something I tell myself every day is God created a path for you, and reminding myself that there is a path.
Anybody else?
Hi ladies, so I've had the great privilege of witnessing all four of you out in community, and I see how much joy community brings you. But I want to know more about you. Like, what are some extracurricular activities that bring you joy? Do we have any dancers, any whatever?
My joy is outside of here is I am a fantasy fulfillment specialist. I like to go to clubs, I like to go to adult clubs, I like to go to swinger clubs, because I don't like to say I'm a whore, because I'm not. I'm an adult fantasy fulfillment specialist, because you can't get this nowhere else. And I enjoy that. Like I said, I like bunnies. I'm the girl you come to. I like to tell people that I'm not the girl that you would take home and be your wife. I'm the girl that scratched that inner itch and see you like